Hello, my friends. I hope you're doing well today. Have you ever had this experience? You understand English when you listen. You understand English when you read. You know vocabulary. You know grammar. But when it's time to speak, everything suddenly feels difficult. The words seem to disappear. Your mind becomes slow. And even simple conversations feel challenging. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Many English learners experience exactly the same thing. The interesting thing is that the problem is usually not knowledge. Most learners already know more English than they think. The real challenge is turning that knowledge into natural conversation. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Recently, I was having a conversation about English practice and confidence. The topic was simple, but it made me think about something important. A lot of learners want to sound natural when they speak. Not perfect. Not advanced. Just natural. And one of the best ways to achieve that is through consistent practice. During the conversation, someone mentioned that their English had improved a lot recently. Their pronunciation sounded clearer. Their confidence seemed stronger. And their responses felt much more natural. Naturally, the next question was simple. What changed? The answer was interesting. Shadowing practice. Have you heard of shadowing before? Many learners know the word, but not everyone tries it seriously. The basic idea is simple. You listen to a native speaker or a natural English conversation. Then you repeat what you hear as closely as possible. Not only the words. The rhythm too. The pronunciation. The emotion. The speaking style. Everything. At first, this can feel difficult. Your mouth may struggle to keep up. You may miss words. You may feel frustrated. But that's completely normal. Every new skill feels uncomfortable in the beginning. What matters is staying consistent. The person in the conversation explained that after a few weeks of regular shadowing, they noticed several changes. First, listening became easier. Instead of hearing individual words, they started understanding complete ideas. Conversations felt smoother. Speech felt more familiar. Then another change appeared. Speaking became easier too. Not perfect. Just easier. The words started coming out more naturally. The pauses became shorter. The confidence became stronger. And honestly, that's something many learners want. Because confidence is often the biggest obstacle. Sometimes we know exactly what we want to say. The idea is clear in our minds. But somehow the sentence never comes out the way we want. The thoughts are there. The English is there. But the connection between thinking and speaking feels slow. That's why many learners spend so much time translating in their heads. They think in their first language. Then they translate. Then they speak. And by the time they finish, the conversation has already moved on. But with enough listening and repetition, something interesting begins to happen. You stop translating as much. Instead of building every sentence word by word, you start recognizing complete phrases. Your brain begins working faster. And conversation starts feeling more natural. Of course, this doesn't happen overnight. Like any skill, it takes time. But progress becomes visible when you practice consistently. Another thing that came up during the conversation was daily practice. Many people imagine they need several hours every day. But that's not always true. Consistency is usually more important than long study sessions. 30 minutes every day can often produce better results than studying for many hours once a week. Why? Because your brain learns through regular exposure. Small daily practice keeps English active in your mind. It becomes part of your routine instead of something you only do occasionally. And when English becomes part of your daily life, improvement feels more natural. Another topic we discussed was mistakes. Many learners worry about mistakes. They feel embarrassed when they say something incorrectly. They become nervous. Sometimes they stop speaking completely because they don't want to make errors. But mistakes are part of learning. Every learner experiences them. Every fluent speaker made them. Every confident speaker made them. The difference is that they continued speaking anyway. They understood that mistakes are not proof of failure. They are proof of practice. And honestly, confidence grows the same way. Not by waiting until you're perfect, but by continuing even when you feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is often a sign that growth is happening. Think about any skill you've learned. Driving, swimming, cooking, riding a bicycle. The beginning always feels awkward. English is no different. The more you use it, the more comfortable it becomes. And slowly, what once felt difficult starts feeling normal. That's why patience matters. Many learners want instant fluency. But fluency is built through small daily actions. One conversation. One podcast. One practice session. One shadowing exercise. One small step at a time. Eventually, those small steps create something powerful. You become more comfortable speaking. You understand more. You respond faster. And perhaps most importantly, you begin trusting yourself. You stop worrying about every sentence. You stop overthinking every word. You simply focus on communication. And that's when real progress becomes visible. The conversation ended with a simple idea. Keep showing up. Keep practicing. Keep speaking. Even on days when motivation feels low. Because every time you use your voice, you're strengthening your English. Every conversation teaches you something. Every listening session improves your understanding. Every mistake teaches a lesson. And every day of practice moves you forward. So if you're working on your English right now, remember this. You don't need perfect English today. You don't need perfect pronunciation today. You don't need perfect confidence today. You only need to keep going. Little by little. Day by day. Because fluency isn't created in one big moment. It's created through hundreds of small moments that happen consistently over time. And one day, you'll notice something surprising. The conversations that once felt difficult now feel natural. The words come more easily. The pauses become shorter. And speaking English feels much more comfortable than it did before. That's the power of consistent practice. Thank you for spending this time with Fluenzo English today. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Keep practicing. And most importantly, keep trusting the process. I'll see you again in the next lesson.